Welcome to Job Pack Podcast, where we get practical insights from job seekers and professionals in less than 10 minutes. I'm Debashish Mishra, and today I'm pleased to welcome to the show CEO Amy Feind of Job Coach Amy in Boston. Amy, welcome and tell us about yourself.
Thanks, Debashish. I'm Amy Feind Reeves. I'm based in Boston, and I founded Job Coach Amy after a long career, more decades than I care to mention, as starting off as a corporate finance person, becoming a global management consultant after I got my MBA, and then an executive. Operating executive, and I really love business. And my passion has always been helping people get into it, because I had a rocky start right after college. I had a lot of trouble getting a job. I had gone to a good college, got a good had a good GPA, done everything I thought I was supposed to do in terms of getting campus leadership positions, and I had no clue what to do. So all through my career, I became the resource that I wish that I had. I taught myself how to create a network, how to do an interview, how to learn about a business and learn about a job before I went on an interview. And I've since spent a lot of time on the other side of the hiring table, from entry level to C-suite. And that's what I give to my clients and try to put out there to anybody who will listen. It's always been what I've been really interested in. And when I got to the point in my career and in my life, my husband said, "What is it you really want to do?" And I said, "You know what? I really want to do this." So I hung out my shingle as Job Coach Amy 7 years ago. And I've been really happy helping people at all levels with a methodology that has been really successful since then. And I love it.
Yeah, it clearly shows. If anyone's ever seen any of the articles that you've written, it's been truly fantastic. Now, I'm curious.
Thank you.
I'm curious. What have you seen? What are you seeing right now in the job market?
One of the foundations of my practice is that there are always good jobs for good people. So I do like to stress that wherever you are, wherever we are in the economy, there are always going to be jobs. Even during, I'm old, the bust of the .com era, there were jobs for people who are really good at what they did. Even now, there are jobs for people who are good at what they do. There are people who retire, there are people who move on, there are people who move. You should always go for the job that you really want, because there are people that are hiring for them. That said, the growth areas are the ones that if you think about it and use common sense, which business always is, you can figure out what there are. There are fintech jobs, because nobody wants to use money in the COVID era. There are healthcare jobs, because healthcare is absolutely booming. There are things that are bursting at the seams, things that are broken, things that are being really pushed to improve. Healthcare is booming. There are anything that helps you save money. For example, solar companies are booming, because solar companies being attached, there are state mandates that are driving you to, if you use solar energy, you can save money on your bill. So solar energies are booming. Anything that helps you save money or helps an industry that is at the seams or is driving some of the changes that are in society are jobs that are going to be growing. And you can see that pretty clearly if you look on any of the job boards.
Yeah, that's great insight. I think, down here where I am in New Jersey, certainly we've seen a boom in healthcare jobs. And I think pharma was one of the first to really get moving. So great.
Absolutely. And it's hard to go beyond that, because, you can't say marketing, because marketing at solar energy and marketing at pharma and marketing for car deals or marketing for textbooks are all quite different. So you really have to look at the industry before you look at the function and really understand what the job is.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Now, obviously there's a lot of people that are still out of work, even now. How do successful job seekers stand out from each other?
I think it depends what stage you are in the process, but my best advice is, again, my methodology is founded around something very simple. At all stages of the process, there are 3 points for everybody. The first is that you need to prove that you understand what the job is. The second is that you need to prove that the skills you have can do what that job is. And the third is that you want the job. And that's often forgotten. But I cannot tell you how many times in my career I sat in a room with a team and said, okay, everybody, what do you think of these final candidates? And everybody would say, well, we got 3 to the final round and they're all kind of the same, but this one wants it more. And it always goes to the person who wants it the most. So really standing out starts at the beginning when you really are honest about what it is that you want. So I think starting at the foundation of your search and figuring out what it is that you want can really make a difference. And I often tell clients, imagine that there were 1,000, instead of you sending out maybe 60 letters over the course of a job search, and you saying, here's why I'll be good, here's why I want the job. Imagine that there was 60 people coming to you and saying, here's why we're a good company, here's why we're a good company and you should come work for us. So if they instead said, here's why we're a good company, here's why we're a good company for you. There would probably, within those 60, if somebody took the time to say, Amy, we know that you're analytical and we have this job where we can put your analytical insights to work, and this job will leverage your analytical insights, and we know that you in particular are going to be good at this job. And we know that you did really well on the paper that you wrote your senior year. And we know that that's the kind of work that you're good at, and that's what we're going to put you to doing this job. Makes a huge difference, right? So let's say you're applying for a job that a company that has a healthcare company that has a white paper on how its tool has come to increase the quality of care in pharma. Mention that. That's going to be what sets you apart. Do a little research. It doesn't take a ton. You can still templatize your cover letter. Just insert a couple of sentences that said, this is why I want your job based on what's in the job description. This is why I want your company, just by looking at a recent press release or the top line of the company. Or the top line of the website. Also, it's really kind of hard to figure out what a company does. You want to make sure, the website can say, we're an ecologically sustainable company that's committed to improving manufacturing. It's a box company. It's everybody uses a lot of language without actually saying what they do. So you've got to kind of dig below and understand what it is the company does and what the job is. And that's going to make you stand out.
Sure. I couldn't agree with you more, just in terms of trying to make sure that you really understand the company and give them something that shows that interest and that alignment of your abilities with what they're looking for.
Right, and you want the job. Of course you want your resume to come from the inside. Of course you want to get an internal recommendation, but to get to the next level, you really want to prove that it's you who wants that job, because the more you want it, the more they know you're going to work to be a better employee.
Yeah, absolutely. Great advice. And what would be the best advice that you could offer job seekers right now?
I think it depends on different stages. Certainly do your research. I'm trying to think of some of the things that have really resonated with my clients. The first one is that everybody's been where you are and everybody wants to help you. You just need to make it easy for them. So for example, in your elevator pitch, when you talk to people and try to network with people, don't just say, you can go to one extreme and say, I really like analytics and I want to be in marketing. And people will go, okay, I'm not sure what to do with that. You can also say, I really want to work at Pepsi in helping grow their consumer packaged good market through analytics on the products that they sell in supermarkets in salty snacks. And they could say, I don't know anybody who works at Pepsi, so I can't help you. If you go kind of in the middle and say, I really am good at doing quantitative analytical work, and I love the tools that are being developed to help sell consumer products. So if do you happen to know anybody who does research or quantitative marketing at any consumer packaged good product like Unilever or Pepsi or any of the big companies, I would love to meet them. Or if you think that you know somebody who might do something at one of those companies, then they could say, you know, I'm not sure what they do, but I do know somebody who works at Colgate. You know, that's the way in. So your elevator pitch is going to be what it is that you're good at, what it is that you're interested in, and then very simply, can you help me? But it can't be too broad and it can't be too specific. The other one that people seem to really like or people seem to really get nervous about interviews. The best advice I can give them is to people like this one, is to pretend that you've already had the interview and you bombed it. And magically you're able to turn the clock back and go in the next day and say, damn it, I am not messing this up. I am getting this interview. And forget the nerves and just be all about business, the business of getting that interview. And that's the attitude you want to take in the first time. And that helps people's nerves get a little bit lessened and helps them get the right attitude that they need to get that job and be enthusiastic and show that they want it.
That's great. I would have never thought of that. I wish I'd talked to you before. So great insights. And just out of curiosity, what was your first job?
My first job, gosh, I don't know. I was thinking about, I knew you were going to ask this. It's kind of, I'm from New Jersey. I sold nightgowns at Bamberger's 2 nights a week in the Morristown. And it's kind of funny, there was nobody ever shopped in the evenings in the nightgown department except for this one lady. And I was so happy when she came in because I had nothing to do. And I would talk to her and I was like, oh, I have one friend. Like none of the other ladies would talk to me, the sales ladies, because I was, 17 years old. And eventually somebody told me she was a lady of the night. And that's why she needed so many nightgowns. And I was completely horrified, but that was my first job.
Wow, that's pretty memorable. Well, I want to thank you, Amy, so much for joining the show and sharing your insights. Amy Feind, the CEO and founder of Job Coach Amy in Boston, and I'll have Amy's contact information in the show notes. I also want to thank you for tuning into the podcast. Job Pack is a virtual job club that connects job seekers to accelerate job seeking success. And you can find out more about it at jobpack.co. You can subscribe to the podcast there or on other major podcasting platforms. And I want to close by reminding you that job seeking is hard, but don't do it alone. Join the pack. And we'll see you next time. Take care.